Mohammad Marandi is an Iranian American academic and political analyst. Mohammad, welcome back to the show. Just for those of us who are not experts in this region, just tell us how significant this is.
It is important, especially since the region has been facing great difficulties, and there's been a lot of suffering over the last few decades because of the different divisions. In particular, we had Saddam Hussein's war against Iran, which had Western support as well as Saudi support. We had the dirty war in Afghanistan, then 9/11, and then the U.S. occupation, and subsequently the occupation of Iraq. And then, of course, we also had the dirty war in Syria, where NATO countries and their regional allies supported ISIS and Al-Qaeda to overthrow the Syrian government. So, and then, of course, the war in Yemen, where the people there have suffered under Saudi and Emirati attacks supported by the West. So you have all these conflicts. And, of course, then there's the Israeli regime, its attacks on Lebanon and Syria and on the Palestinian people. So we have many different divisions, but there are some positive signs as well. Right now we see gradually regional countries moving towards rapprochement with Syria and greater rapprochement between Turkey and Saudi Arabia and the Emirates. And if Iran and Saudi Arabia can move forward with rapprochement, then there's a greater opportunity to start rebuilding the region, especially after all of the hardships that people have been enduring. And the more the U.S. and its allies retreat from the region, the less influence they have on the region, the greater the opportunity there is for countries to come together, because the main reason for these divisions and the divide and the conflicts, the wars, dirty wars, and sanctions is, of course, the United States.
Mohammed, what was China's role and influence in brokering this deal now?
What happened was that during President Raisi's state visit to Beijing, the two presidents spoke about the region and how to decrease tensions in the region and to build confidence among countries in the region. And they decided to see if they could use Beijing as a suitable platform to create rapprochement or bring about rapprochement between Iran and Saudi Arabia. There were talks, a series of talks between officials from Iran and Saudi Arabia in Iraq and other places, but this was the highest level. The two sides had a very high-level delegation in Beijing. The head of the Iranian Supreme National Security Council was there, and the talks lasted for a number of days. And so these talks were more serious and more intense, and they ultimately bore fruit. So Beijing definitely had a significant role to play in this change.
After decades of tension, now this deal, what is the significance of the timing? Why now?
Well, the world is changing very fast. It's becoming more chaotic. It's becoming more dangerous. We have the war in Europe. We have tensions rising over Taiwan. And, of course, West Asia has always been a very volatile region for the last few decades. And, therefore, both countries see it as important to have better relations during these very difficult circumstances. The United States has also shown itself not to be a very reliable partner. We saw that in Afghanistan. We even see it now in Georgia, where a government that is close to the West is being attacked by the West because of a proposed law. So countries like Saudi Arabia look upon these acts of Western countries, of NATO countries, and they feel it to be necessary that they should find alternatives. and they should diversify their contacts and relations, and to decrease tension so that they are not vulnerable to the United States and to NATO. And of course, for the Iranians, it is the policy of the new president in Iran is to strengthen ties with neighboring countries and to create greater convergence among Asian and Eurasian states. So this is a part of the new President Raisi's policy.
Mohammed, we have to leave it there. Good to talk to you, and thanks for your time. Mohammad Marandi talking to us there from Tehran.